Hello, everybody. I'm George from Ireland. Well, welcome back to my channel. This is the so-called Online Safety Act. Who could be against safety? Of course, we want people to be safe. But obviously, safety is largely up to the individual. Do you want to be safe? You want to be unsafe? You want to do risky things? What's a tolerable level of risk? You decide. By and large, that's the way it should be. So they pretended this is about protecting children, which mostly it's not, and it is a chilling attack on freedom of expression, which will be under assault for decades. Both major parties are bad on this. Labour's absolutely appalling and is heavily oppressive on this one. So sort of age verification to log on to pornography, you might say that's fair enough, but okay, so preventing children accessing this stuff. Now, the thing is, obviously, the age of consent is 16, but how come they can actually have sex but not see images which are not even actually really pornographic, might be just erotic or something like that? Preposterous. And I realize sex is not all harmless fun. That could lead to an unwanted pregnancy. It could lead to people getting a disease which could be incurable, could kill them, and so on. So how is that less dangerous than seeing these images? And I realize that pornography is not very good for people. For some people, it's like crack cocaine. They can get fixated. They can't. It's too performative. People try to gamify sex and things like that, give them a completely unrealistic view of what it's actually like, and makes monogamy seem impossible. So you might say the age verification's all right, but then so much information is given away, personal data. Could that not be stolen by scammers and things like that, by hackers? So the United Kingdom is becoming a digital surveillance state. Now, of course, some of the online safety stuff is laudable. Okay, nobody wants children to be kidnapped, nobody wants them to be molested, and so on. But under the guise of that, and you might say we could let some sections of it stand, it'd been a Christmas tree act, like Kemi Badenoch said, putting extra things on it, pretending it's about one issue, when really it's about control freakery. It's about the state arrogating into itself an unprecedented degree of censorious power. So look at section 179, and that says that anything online which causes, if it's bogus, if it causes non-trivial psychological harm, then that's a crime. Okay, so cracking a joke, dissenting from a politician, criticizing someone, offensive. Who's decided it's offensive? I mean, I see things that are offensive every single day, but I wouldn't want to criminalize those people. Wow. And sometimes it's debatable things are true or false or not. Now, non-trivial psychological harm, that's a very low barrier these days because people are traumatized. They need trigger warnings for just about everything. Is really about politicians closing down criticism, criminalizing dissent. Section 44. And it says that one cabinet minister can change the censorship law without even consulting Parliament. Doesn't even have to tell them, debated it. Wow, wow, that's extraordinary secondary legislation. So that one man or woman can just sign this into law, and then it's a crime to do or say anything that he or she disagrees with. So Ofcom, the Office of Communications, that becomes the new broadcasting authority, and then it could introduce additional censorship duties on the internet, and all sorts of platforms are going to have to abide by that. So we're going into a digital dictatorship. This is incipient totalitarianism. So wow, wow, it's all very worrying what's coming in. Yeah, our civil liberty is under assault like never before, really. So that's why there's a petition to repeal it already, and that's why a lot of politicians have spoken out against it. And of course, people have been blackguarded. You might not like Nigel Farage, but to say that he's sort of on Jimmy Savile's side is really revolting. And which politicians are really in favour of it is those who actually commit murder, is those who actually promote and commit sexual violence against children every single day. All parties are bad on this one, but the Labour Party is the worst of the major parties, and so on. So that's why there's already a petition trying to get a new debate about this. Alex Bainham created it, trying to get need 100,000 signatures. They've already passed 435,000 signatures to try to repeal the Online Safety Act, seeing that it's very troubling indeed. Okay, so they say that it's really an attack on freedom of expression. There's no more digital security for people. Your privacy's been taken away. So-called harmful content, spreading hatred. Well, obviously the politicians who do this, they spread hatred most every day. I heard outrageous misandry from Jess Phillips the other day. Racist politicians, racist policies from the Labour Party. You know, if you use far left racist language, if you lie down with dogs, you get fleas, and that's what we hear from them. We hear a paedophobia from them. Wow, it really is absolutely revolting. Um, so, so the platforms are going to scan private messages. Okay, so they're trying to prevent child abuse material, and obviously that's praiseworthy. But there's a lot which is not praiseworthy. Then so there's no more end-to-end encryption. So it could just anything platform has to take down anything that's harmful, even if it's lawful. And who's to decide what's harmful? I mean, if it's harmful to the reputation of the Labour Party or other major political parties, so it's harmful per se. No, it's not. We can listen. We think it's harmful. We think it's not harmful. No, this is really an unwarranted extension of state power. It's appalling. And obviously, it's the politicians who lie to us most of the time. They're the ones pumping out disinformation, abuse, just like the verbal abuse directed at Nigel Farage, smearing him like that. So it really is outrageous. I'm very, very worried about this. Now, I realize on so those porn sites or whatever they say, there were things that were illegal. I don't know, but apparently some of those was taken down. That these things like Pornhub or whatever the other ones are, they had to remove content. Okay, obviously things that shouldn't be illegal. Of course, some things are illegal. Obviously, never should be published in the first instance. You think it would behoove them to verify this, but maybe it wasn't. Goodness. So anyway, this is an assault on artistic freedom, on journalism. There's going to be automated moderation. Well, how could AI ever go wrong? So anyway, there are not sufficient safeguards to allow for journalism. So the whole thing is technically flawed. It's a very worrying precedent. This is like the Putin Act is the kind of thing that they do, pretending it's about saving kids. And this from the politicians who murder children in their millions. Wow, it's revolting. I mean, you ought to smell a rat on that one, that they're somehow concerned for the safety of little kids, saying, oh, yeah, we got to keep children safe. And in the next breath, they demand the mass murder of children, torturing them to death. Is absolutely revolting. The same politicians who are allowing weapons to be sent to Israel, knowing that they'll be used to target civilians and so on. From the same prime minister who said that cutting off drinking water, yeah, you had the right, drinking water to Gaza was okay. So 2 million people would die of thirst, or indeed by drinking contaminated water. Now he's concerned with public well-being. I mean, don't make me laugh. So it's nauseating as usual to hide their crimes. So is effectively criminalizing any scrutiny of the executive. And that ought to really worry any right-thinking person. You agree with this government, you disagree with them, you say your piece. No, you're not going to be allowed to say your piece. You can't say that. So the thought police are coming in, and when there's an actual tsunami of real crime, the police are going to be spending their time harassing dissidents. So stop totalitarianism, stop the bigotry, stop control freakery, and save children.